All right, hey there, sixth graders, it's Mr. Byrne again. So I'm just gonna go over a couple things for unit rates today. Basically, your assignment today is to just work on solving unit rate problems with the same techniques that you've already done to solve unit rates earlier in this unit. So if you're kind of feeling okay about unit rates, even this will be good practice, okay? If you're not, maybe go back and look at some of the other videos, that's okay too. I'm gonna show you some of the things that we've done in class that some of my students maybe had more luck with. So let's do this first problem that we already did up above. So suppose you're traveling by a train to visit a friend who lives 275 miles away. How long will the trip take? This is the first thing. There's more text here, but that's one question right there. Forget about the second part. We don't need to do it yet. The train travels at a constant speed of 55 miles per hour. There's that little blurb right there. So it's traveling 275 miles at a rate of 55 miles per hour, right? So remember, if you just wrote this out, you wrote it as a nice fraction there. I reminded my class that this line, that means divide, because remember, a good old division symbol is basically the same thing. There's your line, there's a number, there's your first number, there's your second number, so it means this number divided by that number. So let's do that. 275 divided by 55. Use my calculator here. Although I could do it, it's going to be faster for the video, and it might be good practice for you guys to see it. So there we go. 5. Now, I don't want you to just write 5. If you just literally just wrote 5 on your assignment, that doesn't mean anything to me. 5 what? How long will the trip take? Well, it's 55 miles per hour, so it's going to take 5 hours, right? Now, there's a second question here that was in our book, but I believe on your slide you had one that says if it's driving twice as fast, right? So this was what it was driving, or it was going before. It was 55 miles per hour. So if the train was going twice as fast as that, well, we can do 55 times 2. I can even add 55 and 55. So I know that it's 110 miles per hour. So our new problem, our new ratio is going to look like this. 275 over 110. Okay, now this one might be, we'll see, might be a little different. Maybe some of you already figured it out in your heads because you realize the pattern of halving and doubling there. 275 divided by 110 equals 2.5 hours. All right? So most of this unit rate stuff that we're doing is really just simple division. And I know when I say division, sixth graders freak out because they don't like division. I get it. But you have your calculator to back you up. You can practice. If you don't get it right away, that's okay. So I'm going to do one more problem here to show you. Some of these problems that we're going to ask you to do on these next few slides are going to ask you to solve for the unit rate, but then use that unit rate to solve another part of the problem. So I'm looking at this one. It says a ferry boat travels at a constant speed of 57.5 miles in 2.5 hours. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, because I already saw that there's more, I'm not even going to look at it. Let's find my ratio. Everybody knows how to write a ratio. You guys were good at ratios. I know my class was. I'm pretty sure the other classes were. So it's 55.5 miles, or sorry, 57.5 miles in 2.5 hours. Okay, so that's my ratio that I'm working with. You can already see how you're going to figure out your unit rate. I'm going to show you with this table too, okay? Let's see what it says. How long would it take the ferry to travel 92 miles? Okay, well, there's a whole second question there. So we got to figure out first how long it takes them to travel, or how far they can go in 1 hour, and then we'll go from there. So let's see, 57.5 divided by 2.5 equals 23, so they can go 23 miles in 1 hour. Okay? So there's my unit rate. Now, I'm going to do this down here on this chart too. a lot of people that I've had in class, they're really good at filling out these charts going up. We got to fill them out going down now too. So we can go 57.5, 2.5, that's my time. Oh, I messed it up. That's my miles, and that's my hours. Okay. So, to get it down to a unit rate, I'm going to divide by 2.5. Because you know the denominator always has to be 1. So divided by 2.5, divided by 2.5. So my unit rate is 23 miles per hour. Okay, now I got to get to 92 miles. So let's start counting up. I could go 23, I could add on there, or you know what? I'm just going to double 23. Let's go times 2, because remember, as long as I do the same thing on the top and the bottom, it doesn't really matter. So in 2 hours, they could go 23 times 2, 46. Okay, I know it doesn't quite fit in the table. I probably could have put a different square in there, but that's okay. So that's not big enough. I'm going to go times 3 now. And I have to do times 3 on the bottom. So 1 times 3 is 3. 23 times 3 is 69. Okay, still not big enough. I'm going to keep going. Let's add on to my table here. What about we try 4 and 5 and see where that gets us? So times 4 times 5 times 4 times 5. Okay, so 23 times 4. Let me double check. I think I know what it is in my head, but I'm going to double check just in case. Well, look at that. 23 times 4 is 92. So, again, looking at the question, how long would it take the ferry boat to travel 92 miles at this rate? 92 miles in 4 hours. So for what I'm going to do, I'm going to write how long would it take the ferry boat to travel 92 miles? It would take 4 hours. Circle it so your teacher can find the answer. All right? Because if you turn this in right here, if I turn this in right here, nobody's going to look at that and be like, what is going on? There's so much stuff happening. Unless they watch me do it, it's hard to find it. So I took my answer and I circled it. All right? I know that was kind of fast, but I didn't want this video to go too long. So slow me down if you want, or go back and watch it again. It was kind of just a review on some of the things that we were doing last week. So if you feel like you missed something, you can go back and watch a video from last week too. And let us know if you need help. And I'll talk to you later.